This is Espree Devora with Tech Zulu. I'm here with Tim Street, who I met in the early 2000s on a panel, and he's been a part of the LA tech scene since before there was a tech scene.
Why are we sharing a microphone?
It's true. Here, you can.
Okay, so I'm curious. What do you see happening in the tech scene these days? I mean, you're interviewing a lot of different people, but they're not all cut together, right? So what are you seeing take place?
I think, if you want my honest opinion, I think...
What, you lied to us the rest of the time?
No, I just think it's kind of a harsh opinion. I think when you and I started, the tech scene was a lot more authentic, so to speak, that we really took high risks. We were high rollers in order to get to where we wanted to go.
And it paid off well. We're sitting, you know.
And now it just seems like there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of people that are following a lot of, hyped tech entrepreneurs, and they want these overnight companies or to raise money, and it's not necessarily about building a strong foundation to a company or even developing a core team. It's all about being cool and getting this kind of tech fame. I think Entrepreneur Tech Magazine or Inc. magazine said that the startup entrepreneur is the new rock star, and I think there's something really sad about that it's not about that core passion anymore, that need to develop a company even if you're gonna not be able to feed yourself. It's about being cool, and I think when you and I started, it wasn't about being cool.
Well, you've always been cool, but you had a passion,
yeah.
And I was going to bring that up, but you used that word, and I think you've always been passionate about whatever it is you're doing, and extreme in some ways, or maybe extreme sports or something like that. But as you're talking to people now, are there different technologies that you're seeing? I mean, is the second screen big? Is social media monitoring big? What are you seeing?
I think people are utilizing social, obviously, in a lot of ways, but I think there's something really that creates this lack of connectivity in being so social that we're constantly looking for that quick magic fix in building a company, because we have search engine optimization and social media, but we don't pick up the phone to call someone, and I think there's something really sad about that.
Well, there's a lot of people that haven't grown up using a phone. They've only texted. So, I mean, are you seeing people, though, that are able to start businesses now in ways that they couldn't before?
It's true. Before, when I built my first company, I had to build the site line by line, PHP. I'm not a developer. I define a developer. There was nothing like the help groups that there are today and the different resources to build a company and to know where to find people. Silicon Beach Fest did not exist when I started, and now there's sites like WordPress where you could have, you could essentially have a website for free. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, now technology is so accessible, and it was not accessible like it is today. Years ago, you had to have some sort of knowledge base in order to build a website.
Yeah, and what about the events? I mean, Tech Zulu covers a lot of different events. I mean, Jason is doing stuff, and Kevin's doing stuff. What are the events that are here in Southern California, and who are those people that are really working hard to connect other people? What events should people be at?
Right. Well, I know, of course, and I'm not saying this out of any bias, I actually think the two best organizations to follow for events are Digital LA, who's putting together Silicon Beach Fest. Again, I'm not saying that to be biased. I think Digital LA events are incredible. And I love what Tech Zulu, and I know I report for Tech Zulu, but Tech Zulu has created the tech crawl, which I think is ingenious. It's amazing. It's got like a bar crawl where you go from startup to startup in a local area, and you get to meet all the startups, and it's so much fun, and it's such a social activity, but yet you get to become aware and possibly become a customer of these companies that you wouldn't otherwise know about. So definitely Tech Zulu and Digital LA are the two organizations I follow to know what events to attend.
And then what about places to go to find people that you're going to get money from?
Man, I mean, what's so cool about those two organizations is that the investors do go to all those events at those organizations, and they try because they want to be in the know. Especially a lot of stuff that's been talked about today is that a lot of the investors in the Bay Area are now coming to LA because they hear how much we're advancing in the tech scene, and especially since we have so much knowledge about film, as you well know, that you really don't need to go seek out the investors. They'll come to you if you go to the right events.
There you go. There you have it, right here. Silicon Beach.
Tech Zulu, Tim Street. Where can people find you to learn a little bit more about you?
You can go to One Tim Street on Twitter, and be sure to check out my book on your iPad. It's called Vids, Vids.
Let me tell you guys, Tim Street, he is OG. Before this whole thing was cool, he was there. He knows the growth. He knows the ins and outs, and he really knows what's valid information and what should be thrown away.
I need to come up with a gangster sign, right, for web video.
Thanks so much for spending your time with Tech Zulu and taking the mic away and interviewing me.